Everyone, welcome back. I am Dr. Vernita, and thank you so much for joining me for principle number 4, practicing asking honest and open questions. And I said this, we're on the series of understanding 13 principles on how we treat each other. If you are new to me, again, I am Dr. Vernita, CEO and founder of Glenn White Global Solutions, home of Empowered Educators Academy, where I am on a mission to 1, raise the vibration of the education profession, 2, transform the learning experience of 1 billion students and adults, and 3, to heal the nation through education. And all of that can happen, but it starts with you and I. It starts on the inside, and it starts with a foundation of creating an environment where people can feel safe and comfortable to move forward and reach their highest level. These 13 principles, I've said this before, you can use them individually, you can use them in your personal life, you can use them in your professional life. I suggest you do both and bring them together. And it's more about creating this community or this environment, this space for exactly what it says, principles on how we treat each other. So let's jump right into it. Principle number 4, practice asking honest and open questions. Hey, I'll admit, this one is tough because we like to stay comfortable. We like to stay comfortable in our safe zones. Our brains are designed to keep us safe and comfortable and not push us to that limit. However, we're on this planet to grow. Everything grows, and part of growth are growing pains. And people are put into our lives, and we are put into situations to cause us to grow. Now, practice asking honest and open questions. What does that mean? Well, now I'm going to keep this in the space of if we are in like maybe a workshop or we're at a training and we want to get to the root of some serious issues, or even a meeting at your with your admin team or in your home life. There's something that is happening within our environment, within our space, and we want to get to the bottom of it. Now, honest and open questions, those aren't those surface level questions that we ask. How is your day? How are you feeling? What's wrong? What can I help you with? These are the questions that provoke emotion and cause us to think deeply before we answer. These are the questions that make us get to the root of what is bothering us so we can provide the answer. And as the person asking the questions, now remember, we're already in this hospitable and accountable community. We've already established that. So I'm not saying that you immediately go to someone and ask them, these personal questions or questions that's going to cause them to feel anxiety or some level of emotions. You've already set the tone, and you have a relationship to do that. But you want to be able to, if you're going to solve a problem, you want to be able to ask questions that are going to make people feel uncomfortable, because they have to be able to tell you the truth, right? And we'll talk more about that in the other principles. But I want you to know that everyone's not going to answer in the way that you expect them to, right? So one example of asking open and honest questions, if you are watching this during the pandemic, a lot of educators, whether it's K-12 or higher ed, and administrators as well, are being pushed into teaching in the online space when they weren't expecting to do that. And a lot of people hate it. They don't like it. They're like, what is the point? And as a leader, if you have a lot of teachers complaining, instead of telling them to like suck it up and this is what we have to do and criticizing them, how about, we ask questions. What about this virtual space that is not serving you well? How are we going to, since it's our job to prepare our students, or even if they're teaching adults, to operate and function in a global and technological society, how are we going to do that if we don't embrace that and guide them through it? You want to ask questions that get them to really think, but then don't put them on the defensive, like that you don't want them to react in a way that where they feel attacked by you. You want to ask questions that aren't yes or no, because when you ask yes or no questions, people can easily dismiss the real problem. So this takes practice. And I know if you have ever been, if you're an educator, I know you've written a lesson plan and you've heard of higher order thinking questions, those questions that you're supposed to ask students to make them go, what about that situation that can connect to what I'm learning today? Same thing, right? Open, honest questions, think of them as higher order thinking questions that you're gonna ask a person to get to the root of the problem. And then in your quiet time and when you're by yourself, if you know that there's something going on with you, ask yourself honest and open questions and see what answers come up. And I want you to try that and let me know how that works for you. One, in your personal life, if there's a situation with a family member, take the time to set the tone, set the space, and start asking them those open and honest questions. And the same thing in your professional life, when you're at work or if you're in a meeting or if you're at a training that is kind of intense. If you want to get to the bottom of something, ask open and honest questions. Now, I say you have to practice doing that because, as I said before, people aren't always going to respond how you expect them to respond. They may look at you crazy, they may not answer, but again, this is practice and norm settings. When I did this in my classrooms and in my workshops that I host, I start every session with these 13 principles. Everyone takes a turn reading them, and we do this over and over and over because these are things that you don't just say one time, like say it and forget it. You have to get this to the inside of your cells, your DNA, and really be able to live these 13 principles. All right, so again, that is number 4, practice asking honest and open questions. And again, I want to know how that works out for you. I am Dr. V. Thank you so much for listening and learning with me. And I will see you next time for our next principle. Bye.